Hello and welcome to Top Accents with Dr. Abdul Memshel. Our concept today and our topic we're dealing with is learning conversation. If you want to learn English conversation, you have to think broadly of the concept. We have to give an example to make it easier to understand. If one spends a whole year listening to Chinese or maybe Russian, but without understanding those sounds that he's listening to, of course, one cannot figure out what is listening to her. She is listening to because just signs, just signals. One have to understand the sounds first. So the first science that helps you learn a language is focusing on the first branch of language, which is phonology, and especially phonetics. And maybe specifically we can focus on phonics as a basic idea within the domain of phonetics. Once you understand the language you are studying, once you understand the sounds of that language, then you can write the letters and move on to form words. So we move from the branch of language of phonology to the other branch that now we have letters. We combine letters in a specific way to form words, and that science is called morphology. So morphology is the art or the science of forming words. Forming words differs from Arabic to English to Chinese. So every language has its main general rules for making words, and then we can combine words to form sentences, complete thoughts. So this is the art of syntax. So many people think that syntax is so much difficult or may not be important in a real life conversation or everyday conversation, but this is ultimately wrong, because in slang itself, in slang language of the streets, you have to use some kind of grammar to make your message conveyed or delivered to the others and help them understand you, and vice versa. They have to use some grammar to make you understand, whether tenses, whether arrangement of word order within a sentence. Okay, and this is not all about language. This is just the basics. These are just the basics. So when we move on to understand the core of language, the core of language is, on one side, is semantics. It's to understand the general idea or the representation of the words you're saying. But this is not all, because language is humans. Language is humans, and humans are psyche and mind. So they are so much deep and complex. They are so much difficult to understand. So you have to move to the science of pragmatics. And this is what you have to focus on after learning all the previous elements or branches of language. In our courses, we're going to focus on each of those branches one by one, and we're going to make videos parallelly. At first we're going to make a video on general phonology, then we're going to make another parallel video on morphology, then syntax, then semantics, and at last we're going to focus on pragmatics. So if you want to learn a language, you have to focus on all of these. Don't think that when you learn just basic or simple ideas, simple words of a language, then you can deal in any situation that you are going to face. No, you have to deeply understand what you say, what is said to you, and this is life. So language is life. So you have to understand all these so that you can speak English well and deliver messages and get messages from others. See you next time. On the wait for me in the next video, and assalamu alaikum.